Hey, folks, and welcome back. Now, this is the AFC NFC Conference Championship game preview. We all know that. We're football guys here. But as you know, Epic Films is an umbrella, and we have another show here on Epic Films called The Wrestling Addicts Show. You guys have seen me as a guest on there a couple of times, and you know Rich is a usual on the show. So we decided to bring in a couple of guys from the show just to mix it up a little bit. So to my left, we have got the Goose, Mr. Rafael Guzman. Welcome to the show. And to my right, we have got the man, the myth, the legend, the one and only, the host of the Wrestling Addicts Show, the unmacho man, Mr. Jimmy Anderson.
Ooh, yeah.
This guy and these impersonations are incredible. Y'all, I might get him to do a couple more.
No.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, guys. So, cast of the Wrestling Addict Show. Rafael Guzman, you are a real wrestling addict. Tell the folks a little bit about you and about how you got started into watching wrestling.
My name is Rafael, obviously. I'm married. I have 2 kids, a 9-year-old daughter, a 3-year-old son. And I've been watching it since I was a kid. My cousins got me into it. It's cool. So it's a lot of fun.
I like that. It's cool. That's just straight up. All right. The host of the Wrestling Addict Show, Mr. Jimmy Anderson. Tell the folks about Jimmy Anderson.
All right, Brock. Well, as far as wrestling goes, I've been a fan since 1991. Me and my brother Chuck, who's in the booth right now and helps out with Wrestling Addicts, we both started watching wrestling around the late spring, summer of 1991, and I've been pretty much following it ever since.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell y'all what. This guy, I'm not joking when I say this. I want y'all to look at me real good. This guy is a walking wrestling encyclopedia. And that's why everybody's laughing, because they know I'm not lying. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about you name a match from 1995. This guy will tell you the length of the match, what color socks somebody had on, what he wore into the ring, the date. I'm like, man, this guy, yeah.
I'm a little skittish on the 90s, but...
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Little. So tell the folks about you and your background.
Sure. All right. Well, it all started on one No, I won't go that far back. Actually, before I got into television, I did acting.
Right.
I did acting in community theater. I could say that the Pasadena Little Theater is what it was. I acted there and did tech work there for a number of years. And then I started helping out my brother Chuck with his videography company, Old School Media, who helps produce the Wrestling Addicts in conjunction with BTP Sports as well as Epic Films. And I've always wanted to be a broadcaster, which is why this Wrestling Addicts is a dream come true for me. I don't have the education background per se, because not enough money for college and all of that good stuff. And quite frankly, I just watched TV. I studied the broadcasters over the years, and I just kind of picked up on it. And that's kind of where I am right now. Also, the company that I mentioned, Old School Media, that my brother founded, right now we specialize in wheelchair sports.
Right.
In fact, next weekend, if I could just throw this out there to those of you watching, 4.5 million people here on Afrocentric. That's amazing. The Synergy Bowl, I was trying to remember what it was called, the Synergy Bowl, Moby Sports Synergy Bowl. And that's going to be next weekend, January the 24th through the 25th. And it's going to be at the Pasadena Multipurpose Rec Center. It's located at 5200 Burke Road in Pasadena, Texas. So please come out. It's pretty much an all-day thing Saturday and about half the day Sunday when we do the finals for that tournament. And one team out of about, 6 teams or so? Yeah, 6 teams. I'm getting the confirmation there. Will be crowned the Synergy Bowl 3 winners. We've had 2 tournaments thus far, and this is the 3rd, and that's something I'm very interested in the wheelchair sports aspect, as well as other sports, of course. But wheelchair sports, me and my brother, we agree, it doesn't get enough respect. In some ways. They treat it as a charity event. They treat it as, you don't have to feel sorry for these people. They don't want to have any pity. I mean, these guys are athletes, and that's one of the things we strive for. Instead of just setting up a camera on a tripod and shooting these guys, we actually do multiple camera cuts. We do first-person views. We've done sound, what do you call it? Like the NFL guys, you know how they're mic'd up? Thank you, yeah. Thank you, sound FX, yeah. And we treat it as a sport, bumper music, graphics, the whole works. And a lot of it can be seen here on Houston Media Source TV at different times. But Wrestling Addicts, I forgot to tell you guys, it's on every 2 Saturdays right here, rather on Houston Media Source TV, 12:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're watching outside of that time zone, of course, you'll have to adjust it. Right. But you could watch it online, hmstv.org, or you can look for it on your cable systems. Again, that's every 2 Saturdays. Our next showing will be on the 31st of January, and every 2 Saturdays thereafter, 12:30 Central, noon, 30.
Well, all righty then. And again, how do you follow that? But and I know, and Jimmy mentioned before we came on, he was like, it's going to be a little bit odd being a panelist and not being the host. I said, Jimmy, relax. Just relax. It's all good. He's got it in him. He's got the leadership in him. And Jimmy is the guy that the prompt. When it comes to promptness and it comes to making sure everything is right,
oh yeah,
Jimmy is a man around here. Jimmy holds this place together a lot with keeping things in order. So we appreciate you.
I appreciate that.
Jimmy.
Thank you.
Now to touch a little bit about the wheelchair sports, as a lot of you guys that are watching will know that I had a brother that was in a wheelchair. He passed away 8 years ago, but he was born with a genetic bone disease called osteogenesis imperfecta. And this was in 1967. So, of course, they didn't know a lot about the disease back then. And the doctors gave him 2 weeks to live.
Wow.
And he died 5 days short of his 41st birthday. And not only that, but he didn't feel sorry for himself, like you said, and my mother would not allow him to feel sorry for himself. Mm-hmm. He built his own business. He was a motivational speaker. He actually taught workshops to different businesses and schools on how to deal with people with disabilities. If he ever caught me saying the word handicapped, he'd throw something at me. He doesn't I'm not handicapped, I have a disability. So it just goes to what you were saying. He built his own business, worked for himself until the day he died. And I used to be with him, and I sometimes helped him out carrying his things, and do not let having a disability stop you from doing anything you want to do. And Amen. As far as that Synergy Bowl and that wheelchair football, I'm gonna tell y'all what, I haven't yet to be able to make it out to one of the events. I'll be there next week, though. I'll be there next week to help out. And it's not a game.
No.
We saw films, and
I've seen it in person.
These guys are serious. Mm-hmm. These guys, they work out. I mean, some of these guys got arms bigger than mine. And I'm like, man, are you kidding me? Yeah.
Think about the upper body strength to throw a football with velocity from a seated position.
Yeah.
Think about that. Because people are impressed when Brady sat on his butt and threw a football.
Yeah.
These guys hammer a football 30, 40 yards downfield with precision, with velocity, out of a wheelchair.
Yeah.
While they're moving.
And the clip that really, and everybody in here knows which one I'm talking about, the one that the guy jumped out of the wheelchair to catch the ball. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. This guy literally jumped out of his chair to make a catch. And they play on concrete now, obviously, because they're in wheelchairs. This guy dove out of the chair and caught the ball. So if you guys are not busy, come on out. And if you can't make it, we'll have the clips on YouTube. Check it out. Support this thing. Yeah. So let's, thank you, Jimmy. We appreciate that. Now, let's go into a little bit of crosstalk. All right? Football and wrestling. This is what y'all been waiting on. As we know. Wrestling. I like that. As we all know, quite a few, probably majority of guys in the WWE and all these different wrestling federations probably play football. Mm-hmm. Some I can think of off the top of my head, Ron Simmons, played at Florida State. Yep.
Dwayne Johnson.
The Rock, naturally, played at Miami.
Hurricanes.
Yeah, played at Miami.
I think of wrestling and football kind of like parallel to each other because a lot of the football players, they kind of borrow from the wrestlers' gimmicks when they score a touchdown or when they're doing their plays or the promos. We saw the video with the Colts.
Yeah.
They did the Ric Flair.
Yep.
Yeah, he did it well, too.
The guy who I think missed his calling was Bart Scott. I think Bart Scott, like that promo he did when the Jets beat the Patriots, when he comes flying in and he starts talking about how the Jets, the Patriots can't stop a nosebleed. And can't wait. That's a wrestling promo.
Yeah, it
I was
was.
like, this dude looked like Hogan or Roddy Piper or Randy Savage cutting a promo after the Patriots got whipped by the Jets. I mean, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But like you said, a lot of that crossover comes from these guys are wrestling fans.
Yeah.
What about Richard Sherman in that interview that he
Oh,
did?
yeah.
Now that was about as close to
Epic.
a wrestling promo as I can think of, without actually trying to make it like one. You
I
know.
was a little bit concerned for Aaron Andrews. I thought he might holler. Have you ever in your
He's
life?
gonna like stun him.
Have you seen
He
the
wasn't
B-roll?
responsible for putting the sorry receiver on you, man. Calm down.
Have you seen the B-roll of that?
Yeah.
When he first walked up to her and hugged her, they didn't show that on
Yeah.
the
He was
live
calm.
broadcast.
Yeah.
He hugged her and she was like she was mortified, like, oh my goodness, you know. But the intensity,
Yeah.
the intensity is the same. And again, don't sit there and think wrestling is fake.
No.
Who's the clip that we saw just last week?
Jeff Hardy.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had a, I don't know how he didn't break his.
I don't know how he
grace
did
of
it.
God,
No,
he didn't
yeah.
break his neck.
Yeah.
No,
Oh, when he fell off the cage door.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's only by the
Head
grace of
first.
God he didn't break his neck.
Yeah.
You know, so this is what I tell people. Wrestling is not fake. It may be scripted. The outcome may be scripted, but the action is nothing fake about
You
it.
can't fake gravity.
No. No, that's what ended Ravishing Rick Rude's career. A lot of people don't know that he took a bad spill and when was it, Jimmy? Watch this.
94, I believe.
What
It was a match in Japan, as a matter of fact, and sorry. all right, I'll go into specifics. You know how it was against Sting? Yeah, very good. Okay, Raphael got that one, as a matter of fact. They were in Japan, as a matter of fact. They were on a platform where the ring was up on a platform for some reason. And anyway, Sting did a crossbody or something outside of the ring, and Rude fell backward, and his back hit the corner of that as he's falling backward, and that was the end of that.
Yeah, he tore some cartilage and broke some vertebrae.
Yes, he
And
did.
he wrestled a couple of more times and then that was it.
Yeah, he was training for a full comeback in the late 90s, but then he died.
Since we're
You know,
talking
drugs
about
and
the
things.
crossover of football and wrestling, there's a wrestler by the name of Goldberg. You guys know, right? Bill Goldberg.
Yes, Bill Goldberg.
He ended the career of Bret the Hitman Hart, which is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, because he kicked him so hard that it caused him to get a stroke or something.
Yep.
So it just goes to show you that it's just
And Goldberg was a football player too.
Yeah, Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons. Brian Pillman.
Yep,
Brian
the Bengals.
Cincinnati
Cincinnati
Bengals and Calgary Stampeders over in Canada. So it's just, first of all, the physical aspects of it. Wrestlers are typically big guys.
Right.
Football players are typically big guys. And the training is a lot of the same. You know, it's the same body frame, same body type. So it draws a parallel. So now, this is what I want everybody to do. I want everybody to draw a parallel between a wrestler and an NFL player.
Ooh.
Give me an NFL player. I'll give you a minute to think.
Yeah.
Give me an NFL player that you can draw a parallel to a wrestler as far as persona and the way he goes about his business.
Okay. I will actually go with Richard Sherman.
Okay?
And I think the guy that personifies him the best is The Rock. Because
can see
he's the smack talking, electrifying showman, but at the same time, he gets the job done. He has no problems at all with talking about how he can whip somebody's behind.
Then you go do it.
And he goes out and does it. You know, you can say whatever you want to about Richard Sherman. The numbers speak for themselves. Here you hear people talking about, you know, he can't cover one-on-one. He's always in the zone. He's doing what the system calls for him to do.
That's not his fault.
However, you break the stats down. You look at his quarterback rating when passes are thrown his way. That alleviates the coverage argument.
Yep.
Because that means the football's there. You got to make a play. Whether you're in zone coverage or you're in man.
Absolutely.
Richard Sherman, since he's been in the league, quarterbacks across the league have the lowest QBR against him when they throw the ball his way. Aaron Rodgers, for example, is probably, in all likelihood, is going to be the MVP this year. Green Bay played against Seattle, didn't throw the ball his way not one single time.
You know what? I actually, from another segment, I've got the stat here. That first game, Aaron Rodgers was 23 of 33 for 189 yards. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. When have you ever seen a healthy Aaron Rodgers now? That's what we were telling you guys earlier in the show. If a healthy Aaron Rodgers only threw for 189 yards against this team, what is a
One-legged Bojangles.
What is an injured? Yeah.
Aaron Rodgers good.
What is an injured Aaron Rodgers going to do against this team?
Yeah.
You know, so
Good luck.
All right, Goose, what you got?
I'm gonna have to say J.J. Watt, 99. One because I'm class of '99. No, I'm joking. He's kind of guy that he does a lot for the community and stuff like that, and I would compare him kind of like to John Cena because he's good with the kids and stuff like that. And
His interviews aren't boring like Cena's.
that's true.
J.J. Watt's actually interesting to talk to.
But well, yes, I'm just talking about like the performer and and
Oh,
all
I
that.
got you. I got you.
mean, he's about getting it done.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
in that perspective, I would say that
he would compare to him.
Okay. Unmacho Man, what you got?
Well, I would have to see. Well, actually, I was going to go with Tom Brady. I was going to actually compare him as well to John Cena because he's won more championships than any of us can count. And the fact that he has haters and lovers, just like John Cena does, as far
Got
as.
a hater right here.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
big time. Big
Yeah,
time.
I know. How many championships has Tom Brady now got? I can't
Three.
remember. 3? Well, it feels like more, doesn't it?
Well, he's
Because
been
the
5
Patriots
times,
have
but they
been.
lost 2.
Yeah, I know, and there's such a dynasty, and I also kind of compare him to The Undertaker. Know why? He's immortal. He's been playing for so long, and he ain't going away anytime
You know
real
what?
soon.
And that's the thing about Tom Brady, and we talked about this off the air, that most quarterbacks, I think he's 35 or 36, he shows 0 signs of slowing down. He's literally just as efficient now as he was when he first, in his prime. I mean, age-wise, he's clearly past his prime, but he's still, like like we talked about in the last segment, Peyton Manning, that you could see him starting to slow down. When Joe Montana came to the end in Kansas City, you could see him starting to slow down. When John Elway, even though he went out with 2 Super Bowls, you can tell a lot of that was what was around him.
Right.
But Tom Brady, you could pick, 4 people out of the audience right here and say, go out there, and Tom Brady will make them super. Like Joe Levette says,
They getting receivers from Craigslist or something.
yeah. I mean, name their starting receivers right now. See?
Yeah, exactly.
See? I mean,
yeah,
and-
exactly.
yeah. And the year that we all know what happened 2 years ago with Aaron Hernandez and Gronk. Aaron Hernandez went through his deal. It's still going through his deal. Probably going to be going through that deal for the rest of his life. So Gronkowski stayed out hurt a lot. And Brady literally pulled guys off the practice squad.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Gronk and Aaron Hernandez were his 2 top receivers.
Yep.
He lost his
Both of
2
them.
top receivers, pulled guys off of the practice squad, and went to the AFC Championship game. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You know.
And they were close to winning that game also.
Yeah. Now, here's the irony in that. I use Tom Brady as well, but I'm going to tell you who I compared Tom Brady to. And I brought him up earlier. I compare Brady to Ravishing Rick Rude.
Really?
And I'm going to tell you why.
Arrogant.
Absolutely.
Cocky.
No doubt.
Tom Brady is that pretty boy that chicks dig. All right, Brady, he's that guy. And you see him doing all these photo shoots with the, with the
Toes down to
suits
nose.
and yeah. And he knows people don't like him, and guess what? He relishes that. That was Rick Rude.
That's true.
Rick Rude, the only
one of your
people.
favorites.
Yeah, Rick Rude knew that the crowd hated him.
Yep.
And he would be like, "Yep,
Bring it on.
bring it on."
Bring it
And that was Tom. That's Tom Brady. Tom Brady. I've seen him do it. Tom Brady will walk into your stadium and
Well,
say,
Let's.
Yeah.
Go, I want to go back to the Mannings for a second with Eli and Peyton. One chokes and one doesn't. Would you compare those two to the Rockers, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty?
"Oh, that's good.
Wow.
That's
Wow.
That's the best one right there.
Wow.
One hit superstardom, Shawn Michaels, and the other didn't.
Wow. You know what? I can't say Marty
That's a whole
Jannetty
other
choked.
segment.
He just got outshined. I mean,
Well,
and Shawn
so
Michaels-
did. Yeah.
Yeah, and Shawn Michaels is arguably the greatest of all time.
Arguably.
Arguably. Now, me personally,
Very
I'm an 80s, 90s wrestling guy, so I would go with Hogan. I think Hogan really just took the WWE to a WWF.
Thank you.
Industry.
And yeah,
He took the industry. to
Hogan
it.
literally, and that's why, to go back to Cena, I compared Cena to Hogan. I mean, yeah, Cena is like this generation's Hogan.
Right.
Like, he is literally shouldering. If Cena was to, when The Rock, after the Attitude Era, wrestling was
Down the toilet.
Right.
down the toilet. And we talk about it on Facebook all the time, like, man, Raw is boring.
Real quick, one more comparison I got with Richard Sermon. CM Punk. He knows he's
I
good.
like that.
That's a good one.
He
I like
knows
that.
he's good, and he tells everybody he's good, just
he
like
don't
CM
care
Punk
what you
does.
think.
Exactly.
And that's the way he is.
Yep.
That's the way CM Punk is in real life, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And that's cool.
I'm
You
good
know,
with that,
so
as long as you deliver.
absolutely. So I tell you what, guys, this has been a great discussion. I really enjoyed having you cats here on the show. I'm able to return the favor. You've had me on your show, I think, twice. And it's a pleasure to be able to return the favor. So
It's great to be here.
absolutely, Goose. We appreciate it, man. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up this segment for Richard Walker, Rafael Guzman, the Unmacho Man Jimmy Anderson, Mitchell Brock. We'll be right back.